up, Planet Internet? I'm Emperor Cole, and this is Emperor Cole Film Review, brought to you by MindbenderENT.com. And today I'm here to review Ready Player One, written by Zach Penn and Ernest Cline, directed by the legendary Steven Spielberg. Everybody, let's get ready to take this 80s pop culture ride together. Let's do it! Ready Player One is based off a book of the same name that was written by Ernest Cline and released back in August of 2011. The book immediately became a hit because it's loaded with all kinds of 80s video games, movies, TV shows, everything pop culture that was basically geek culture back then. This book was full of it. There is so much in this film that you have to watch it 2 or 3 times to catch all the different references, to see all the different characters that appear during the fight and battle sequences when the characters are inside the Oasis. To a certain extent, this movie is kind of like a living embodiment of the times that we live in right now. What do I mean? Right now, people are currently on the internet and in their phones. Oftentimes, people create fake profiles online to kind of have this voyeuristic or escapism type thing where they're pretending to be somebody that they're not because it's, of course, satisfying some type of emotional or core need that they need as a person. So in the actual movie, it's kind of foreshadowing where society could be going because now it's virtual reality. The characters are inside the internet, basically. They're inside this virtual reality world called the Oasis. There's even cryptocurrency in the actual film. That's something that's going on now where you can buy things inside the Oasis or the internet and you can actually get things in the real world. Kind of ironic, isn't it? In the film, characters can create avatars and be who they want to be. Those avatars don't even have to be human beings. When the characters are inside the Oasis, the virtual reality world, it is the most stunning and best CGI I think I've ever seen in a movie. This movie is definitely going to win an Oscar for Best Visual Effects. It is like out of this world amazing. When you see this stuff, you're gonna see some characters from different movies, different video games, different cartoons that you watched as a child, and you're going to absolutely love it. There are more characters and references in this film than you could ever watch in one sitting. This is the type of movie you're gonna have to see at least 2 times in theaters to try to make sure you catch everything and see everything because there are some very elaborate battle sequences when they're inside the Oasis that are just... Spielberg and the visual effects team really outdid themselves with this one. Ready Player One has a little bit more social commentary in it than I expected, and what I mean by that is the main antagonist in the film is the CEO of this company called IOI, which stands for Innovative Online Industries, and they basically represent corporate America and trying to take over the Oasis and the internet. They want to flood it with advertising and try to make as much money as possible off of it. That kind of reminded me of the whole net neutrality thing, which recently went through where the FCC is now going to allow internet service providers to charge whatever they want to charge for certain sites and all that. In the actual movie, we have the younger youth culture, the Gunthers, who are trying to find the actual Easter egg and get it for themselves to make sure that IOI and Sorrento do not get it. So that was something that I kind of caught in there. Maybe that's the thing that they meant, maybe it was the thing they weren't going for, but I kind of equated that to the whole net neutrality thing. This movie is almost like the perfect sci-fi blend of The Goonies meets Minority Report meets Stranger Things meets Indiana Jones. Steven Spielberg did an excellent job at balancing the characters when they're in the real world and showing the real life drama that they're dealing with and the action and the surreal sequences when they're inside the Oasis, the virtual reality world. He did a great job with it. Also, Spielberg is known for doing very well with children actors or young actors and doing things that appeal to a younger audience. So once again, he showed up with these sci-fi, mystical, surreal elements in this film, as well as balancing the heart and the emotion. The writing for this screenplay was done very well between Ernest Cline and Zach Penn. Oftentimes when an author does a book, they have a hard time adapting it to the screen because, well, of course, when you're doing a 2-hour movie, you have to chop a lot of stuff out. I thought Ernest Cline and Zach Penn did a very good job at keeping the core elements of what the story is about. Of course, I read the book like a lot of other people, so there's a lot of stuff where they show the relationship between H and Parzival, aka Wade Watts, when they're in high school or when they're just hanging out away from school. That stuff all had to be taken out because, of course, it would have made the movie too long, but they still did a good job of establishing that these 2 guys were best friends, even though we just see them from when the actual Easter egg hunt gets going. The book has about 3 or 4 chapters before the Easter egg hunt even happens, but the movie, of course, had to jump right into the action. So once again, Zach Penn and Ernest Cline did an excellent job with the actual screenplay. There's a scene in the movie where one of the characters gets something called the quote-unquote Zemeckis Cube. If you're familiar with Robert Zemeckis, the director, you might have an idea what this cube might be all about. I'm not going to spoil it, but when the thing was actually used, I was like, yo, that's awesome, because it kind of was exactly what I was expecting it to be. The most unexpected scene in the movie, maybe even my favorite scene in the movie, the characters end up inside another film. They end up inside this film, of course, looking for clues, trying to find things for the actual Easter egg hunt. One of the main characters, H, has never seen this movie before, so he doesn't know what to expect. And I'm not going to give it away, but when you're in this movie or one of these type of movies, if you've seen this movie before because it's a classic, you know there are certain things you should not be doing, and you definitely should not be wandering off from the group. This was a complete surprise because this scene does not happen in the actual book. So when I saw it, I didn't know what to expect. The scene was intense. The tone of the whole entire movie switches for the certain amount of time while they're inside this film, and it's definitely something that will have you on the edge of your seat. You will love it because the whole entire audience, everybody gasped when they realized what movie they were in, and it was like, oh no, like whatever you do, don't do what these people have actually did. But great scene, very entertaining, loads of fun, and very intense. You are gonna love it. When you see it, you're gonna say, this is what he was talking about. This is Steven Spielberg's best movie of the last 10 years. He did an excellent job at presenting Wade Watts and filming a movie that a lot of people said was a book that was unfilmable. I strongly recommend it for anybody who loves pop culture, action, gaming. This movie has something for everybody, young and old. Ready Player One, highly recommend it. You definitely want to check this out while it's in theaters. As it stands right now, this is my favorite film of 2018. This movie is action-packed, loads of fun. I enjoyed it a whole lot. The entertainment factor on this movie is through the roof. And it's a movie that I'm going to see in theaters at least 2 more times. So as it stands right now, this is my favorite movie of 2018. But there's a movie coming out in 3 weeks called Infinity War that might knock it off the top of the hill. Ready Player One, as it stands right now, has a score of 96%. 96% on the Mindbender movie meter. Okay, so this has been Emperor Cole Film Review for Ready Player One. If you enjoyed this review, definitely subscribe to his YouTube channel. Make sure you follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/MindbenderEntertainment. Follow us on Instagram at Mindbender_entertainment. And of course, follow us on Twitter at MindbenderENT. Check out the website, mindbenderent.com. And remember, the future is now.